All right, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming and Tech Reviews. I'm Andrew, and today we're going to talk about pretty much the stuff that I've been covering the whole month. I want to try to at least start doing these at least once a month, my friends, just so that you guys can like get more of a. I got to make sure the freaking. let's see if the stream is actually working. Yep, you guys got good. You guys got good sound. So, every month I want to try to start doing at least one stream that is more kind of like a news stream, stuff that I'm looking forward to, stuff that I've already got, things that I've been testing, kind of just going over the month, like a progress report or something like that. And then, be able to like do like announcements and stuff, for the channel, like upcoming perks and stuff that I've got in the works for the membership program. Like if you join the membership here on YouTube, I want to be able to open that up to where if you wanted to come on the channel and do a video with me, like say you want to talk about a certain subject, or there's something that you really like, like you got a video idea and you kind of want to get your name out there, or you want to just have kind of that access to a platform or whatever. Or maybe you just want to come on and shoot the shit with me and talk about games or talk about things that you like about the channel or something. That's something that I'm really considering doing. I want to do that for the members on the channel. I want it to be something though. That's like, it's like active supporters that actively support the channel. Like you get on, you come on, do a video with me, and like the channel grows and you're a part of that. And because let's face it, sitting here trying to be creative every single day on YouTube is not the easiest thing in the world. Like it's a lot more work than a lot of people think it is. You always get backlash. You've always got somebody that knows more than you do. And so I would love to open that up to those people that maybe they do have more information or better insight or something like that. And obviously this opens up the door. Like maybe people are disgruntled with me and they just want to put out a video or like challenge me or whatever. Yeah, that's an option too. Like there's so much stuff here on YouTube that I think over the last 4 years that I've been doing YouTube, I've had to tune a lot of stuff out. Okay. You get in there and like because you guys know me. Like if you've been here for a while, you know me, man. I get excited about things and I beat on about them for a little while, and then not necessarily lose interest in them. I just, find something else comes along and then I start covering that. And, when I started the channel, I was pretty gung-ho about Xbox. Okay. We all saw that. We all saw what happened with that. I saw the writing on the wall. Look, Xbox is going third party. There's not really a whole lot left for me to do to try to win people over to an ecosystem that everybody can play that wherever they want to. It makes no sense. I'm not just going to do what all the other Xbox channels have done and just jump over and start banging on for PlayStation. No, I took the other route and I went PC, because PC is that spot where everything is kind of transgressing to PlayStation's coming to PC, Xbox is going to PC. It all leads to one road. Like it all leads to a big black shiny case sitting on your desk with the world's greatest GPUs and PCs and stuff like that. And so since I've started doing the whole PC thing, I get a lot of pushback. Are you guys even able to text anything? Let me know if you're here. Let me see if you guys can text anything, because I haven't seen any comments or anything come up. But we're gonna get to the subject of today's video too. I promise you. Like we will talk about the expectations that I had for a 4090 versus what the actual reality is. And that's probably one of the biggest things. Hey, Bobby. That's probably one of the biggest things why I really try not to overhype stuff. I do. Like, I try not to, but I know I get carried away. Sometimes I get like super duper excited about something, Like I've had the 9070 XT now for 6 freaking months. Okay. 6 months. I've had the 9070 XT. I'm legit still in the honeymoon phase with the 9070 XT. And now adding the 9800X 3D to that build, it's good. Like it's good. I like it. I definitely think that was a good buy. I already had a good CPU though. I already had, yeah, this is a real actual live. I'm live. I'm doing these. I try to do them at least once a month. And today you guys got my full attention. Good day, Chris. So the way I look at it is with a 9070 XT and the 9800X 3D, okay? If you've already got a 7800X 3D, you don't need to upgrade. Is the upgrade better? Yes, the upgrade is better. But you don't need it. You really don't need it. I think the 7800X 3D is going to be great for a while. I think the 9800X 3D is going to be great for a while. But here's where I differ from other channels, at least from my own experience now. I started PC gaming on a 5800X, okay, 8-core CPU. I don't recommend normally getting less than an 8-core CPU. I think that you should make that a priority when building a rig. Yes, you can get good deals on a 7600, and obviously there are places in the world, where getting this kind of stuff might be a little bit harder, and you might just have to do what you have to do. But I look at my analytics on the channel, and the majority of people that watch this channel are like 18 to 26, 34 to, you know what I mean? Like the age groups that normally don't have the issue of buying stuff. They don't have the issue of buying stuff. They just want to make sure they get the right stuff. Okay. And so I try to aim that content toward that group. I try to aim it toward the group that I am. Okay. So I have a career. I work a career. I'm a union employee. Obviously, you get a job, a union job, you usually got good benefits. You got good money coming in like that. Okay. My wife has a good career. We make, a decent enough money to where we're not at a point. We're at a point where it's like, okay, I want to buy what I need. I don't want to waste a whole bunch of money. Okay. But then at the other time, it's like, okay, but I want to make sure I get, a good experience for myself, because no matter how you look at it, NVIDIA and AMD offer completely, not completely different, but they offer a different user experience. One is more geared toward gaming and essentially only gaming obviously you can edit videos and stuff like that on AMD. But NVIDIA is more aimed toward that like AI marketplace, and everything else kind of just feels like an afterthought or something. Dang it, Bobby. Bobby, you coming back, huh? PC Builder, no. Kiddo 63. Oh, no. I might be the oldest. You might be the oldest in the group, 51. I get it. I see. That's funny that you guys say that, because 56 years old. See, here's the thing. It's like, most of the people watching this channel and the people that really resonate with what I have to say are people that are my age, and they're sick of the they're like me, man. I was kind of getting sick of the whole overhype, overstimulate, over whatever kind of stuff that we get from everybody else, A lot of us are not dumb. Okay. We know that a 90 class card is good. But a lot of us have families and kids and bills and responsibilities. And when we look at a card like a 4090 or a 5090, and we look at that price, most of us don't have a problem paying that, like a couple $1,000s for a GPU. Okay, cool. What does it do? Is it gonna deliver exactly what I want? And I feel like most of us realize that no, it's not. It's there's going to be stuff that it's not going to do. Like turning on. Okay, this is what kind of like changed my mind a little bit about the 4090 at first when I started getting those, like, oh man, I was starting to get a little bit up and down with it. Was I got this card, okay? And I'm looking at Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I'm like, no freaking way this isn't going to run this game at least 4K 60 out of the box. And it hit like 45 maxed out, no upscaling. And I was like, wow. I would think for the price of a 4090, I think for the price of a 4090, it should at least at a minimum be able to hit 60 frames a second at 4K. Not this 40 to 90 shit. Not this 40 to 90 shit. Not this 40 to 90 FPS shit that you get. No. At a freaking minimum, at a bare minimum, it should be able to hit 4K 60 on a Ubisoft game. And you guys look at me like, what are you talking about, a Ubisoft game? Go play any freaking Ubisoft game on the market. I guarantee that they are probably some of the most best optimized games out there. And people, like, I get like games from like last generation, like the Xbox One generation, or PlayStation 3 generation, like the old Assassin's Creeds and stuff like that. A lot of those aren't like super well optimized, just because Ubisoft didn't really care about the PC in that generation, but now they do. Now they do, and holy crap, their games come out good. They're good on VRAM limits, and some of like these beautiful giant open worlds like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That game looks amazing, and you can run that on any 8 gigabyte GPU. Oh, when you are old like us, it's a compliment. Yeah, exactly. How true. Game is to just fire it up and let it run. Exactly. You know what the funny thing is, guys, is now that I have all this freaking, now that I've invested all this money in all these GPUs just to see which ones work, I'm not even joking. Like, I don't say this lightly, but man, a good old freaking 1080p OLED monitor and a 9060 XT, I'm satisfied. Like, I'm legit satisfied. A 4090 in a freaking on a 4K display, I'm more satisfied playing 1080p at higher frames than I am barely hitting 60 frames on a 4090. 9070 XT, okay? That is what I would call a 1440p GPU that should be able to, even that one can't even do 1440p on Assassin's Creed is 60 frames a second. It's like, 4K, it's like 35. So it's like I get 10 more frames on the 4090 than I do on a 9070 XT for half the price. Does that even sound freaking reasonable at all? How do they come up with this freaking, how do they come up with these pricing? I'll tell you why, because you're paying for AI stuff that you're never going to use. Okay, you're never going to use the AI. Now, see, here's the thing with the 4090. If you are using that card for AI, it's an absolute freaking beast. You got 24 gigs of VRAM. You can run local language models. That's exactly what that card is designed for. 384-bit bus. It's massive. It's incredible. But when you buy these cards for gaming, man, do you really ever think? If you think back, okay, think back to like the 1080 Ti, okay? Everybody says that this card is like the mama of all cards, longest lasting GPU, best banger for your buck, whatever. Think about it. The 1080 Ti can't play any of these new ray tracing games with ray tracing. Does it? Can you use DLSS on those cards or no? I don't even think can you use DLSS? I think you can use FSR. Hey, somebody confirm that. Can you use DLSS on the 10 series cards? If I don't know. I might actually have to buy one to test that out for myself. But say you can't use DLSS on it. You need so you need a 20 series just to use DLSS. So I mean, that card's absolutely, well, I'm not going to say absolutely, but essentially almost useless in the newer games. right? That card was the cream of the crop just 4 generations ago. 4 generations, that's 8 years. You look at that, 8 years, 10 years, whatever. Well, 10 years, because when it came out, 10-year-old GPU, you spend all that money on it, and you got to use that for 10. Oh, for the 10 series, bro. Like it legitimately capped off. I look at this is how I look at it. The 1080 Ti or Titan or whatever legitimately capped off that generation before it. That was the best that you could get. Capped it off. Boom. If that was all you were playing is games under there, and that was where you wanted to stay, cool. You're set. The 1080 Ti is gonna clean the clock on all those games and maybe get you into a little bit of future games, but just enough to make you have to buy a new card. Imagine buying a 1080 Ti, a 2080 Ti, 3090 or a 3090 Ti, a 4090. Imagine buying these cards every generation. Hey, thank you, Bobby. Imagine that, okay, for a minute. Just imagine buying these cards every generation, knowing that you're never going to fully be able to utilize that power. That's where I'm at with it. I'm like, okay, like the 4090 is great, and trust and believe, like it plays most stuff. Obviously, I can use DLSS on these newer games, frame generation. I can do it. Like it is a good card. Like it is very, 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 very good. But if you can essentially trick your brain and get that same experience with half the money, like, come on, man. Come on, man. I like 1080p now, man. AMD bullshit with FSR. Sold mine and got the 5070 Ti. That's a good card, man. That's, Robert, if you look at it this way, look, I don't ever want anybody to be stuck on something that they don't like. If like seriously, if AMD is not cutting it for you, if they're not delivering the features fast enough for you, I don't expect you to stay. Like, trust and believe, I'm a pretty patient guy with it, just because I like a lot of the AMD experience. What's up, Ollie? It's been a while, buddy. Welcome back, dude. I'm sweating my ass off. Today is the hottest freaking day. Oh my gosh. Tomorrow's supposed to be cooler, and then the rest of the week is supposed to be cooler, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, dude, when I look at the AMD experience for me, I don't mind waiting for, Robert, here's the thing, bud. I got a 1080p monitor. I got a 3440 by 1440p monitor. I have a 1440p monitor, and I have a 4K monitor. I don't ever necessarily have to use any kind of upscaling at all to play any of my games. I've always got a native display within arm's reach that I can play. That makes it a lot easier, probably, for me. And I even got a 1080p ultra wide. That probably makes it easier for me to not have to ever think about that. Because if I wake up, say I get up tomorrow morning, if I jump right on the 1080p monitor, it doesn't look bad at all. If I jump on the 3440 by 1440p monitor, doesn't look bad at all. If I jump on the 4K, boom, I'm good. Depending on the game, Robert, I know it's not practical, but PC gaming, dude, PC gaming is so all over the place in terms of what UE5 is going to do, what freaking Northlight, what freaking any of these engines, I mean, like Decima or like there's so many damn game engines out there, and it's just so all over the place. So why limit yourself to one experience, especially 4K? 4K, you're guaranteed to have, probably, depending on the GPU you buy, probably I would say 65% good time. Okay, 65%. A lot of older games that you could play easily native 4K. 1440p, I would say 85% good time. And this is without using upscaling. Okay, there's about 65% of games that you could play on a 9070 XT or 5070 Ti without using any upscaling. Okay, and running them at 4K. And so when I talk about 1440p, about 85%. but you can have 100% good time on a 1080p monitor. 100%. So you get a dual mode, 4K 1080p. Boom, that solves 2 of your resolutions right there in one monitor, and it's an incredible OLED display. And then you get your ultra wide 1440p. Boom, you're good. You're legit. Like I got these 2 monitors like right here. I got and the ultra wide monitor, legitimately you can play with black bars at 1440p. 2560 by 1440p. You can, boom, you've got 3 monitors in 2, and you've got that big old long for your open world games. This setup right here, guys, I'm not even joking, is freaking peak for me. This is peak. This is perfect. I've got my ultra wide for my open world and racing games. I've got my 4K OLED for all that pretty pixel goodness when the games are just like, oh my gosh, it's so insane, I got to see it in 4K. And then I got my 1080p dual mode that drops to a 480 hertz refresh rate, 1080p monitor. And I can just, yeah, dude, I can legit buy 60 class cards and have fun on, yeah, dude, I can play the 1080p OLED, not just 1080p, but 1080p OLED HDR. Do you even, I don't think you guys realize this, but HDR is significantly more important to my eyes than 4K. 4K, I get tired of it kind of quickly when everything's like really sharp and crispy and clinical and like that clarity. I get a little bit like, oh man, I don't really, but 1080p, like I don't ever find myself getting bored with 1080p for some reason. It's still HD. 1080p is high definition. It's still high definition. 1440p, high definition. Even 720p is technically high definition. It's got enough clarity for your eyes to see it. Gigabyte 32U monitor. Oh yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Would you have preferred getting a 5080 knowing it has the power as well as the new generation of you know, Cameron, I would buy a 5080 if it had 24 gigs. Okay. If a 5080 came with 24 gigabytes, I will buy one. Okay. If they bring out the supers and they have 24 gigs, I'll buy one. And then I would probably sell my 4090 because I personally would much rather have MFG 4X than a 4090. I would legit sell my 4090 and get a 5080 24 gig. Even, dude, I would even potentially sell it for a ROG Strix 5070 Ti 24 gig. I would probably even buy that, to be completely honest with you. I think the 5070 Ti and above, I think the 5070 Ti just it's good. It's good enough. I don't ever find myself. I had this GPU in today. This is the AMD. I put this one back in for a little while today. This is the AMD Radeon Pro W6800. This is essentially a 6800 card, like RX 6800. Maybe a little bit slower. Like the gaming ones usually are a little bit faster than these or whatever. I thought it was a 6800 XT at first, you know, but after doing a lot more research on it, it's essentially a 6800. I had this card in today and I was on the 1080p mode. Okay. And because I tested it out first on the ultra wide the other day. So I had this card in there and I'm playing Assassin's Creed Shadows at 1080p. It's giving me like 35 frames at 1080p, you know, native maxed out. And this is you got to understand, this is RDNA 2 ray tracing power. Okay. Because that's what this is, RDNA 2. So I'm sitting there, I'm in Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I have all the ray tracing, everything ultra settings, everything maxed out. It's giving me native 30 frames a second at 1080p with all of the ray tracing. This card came out before FSR 3. This card came out before FSR 2. So this card came out with FSR. This card now uses FSR 3 and frame generation. I was able to use FSR3 and frame generation on this GPU to get above 70 frames a second at 1080p on Assassin's Creed Shadows. I legit sat there for probably an hour clearing a tomb on this card, fully immersed in that experience. No problem at all. No issues. I wasn't wishing, oh my gosh, I wish this was 4K. None of that. And earlier today, I had the 9060 XT in there, and I was playing around on that. I was getting some footage. And then I decided to throw this one in there because I was talking to somebody on Twitter, and they were talking about Unreal Engine 5. The other day when I tested this card the first time, I had gosh dang it, Oblivion remastered. I had that game running 3440 by 1440p on this GPU at 147 frames, using frame generation, using FSR3, and it looked fine. It looked incredible. I was like, wow, this is actually quite impressive that this can run like this. I turn off frame generation. I'm hitting about 90 frames a second. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. You've never seen anybody take a pro card to gaming? It's interesting because you see on the back of here, you have to have that like mini DisplayPort. So you can essentially run 6 displays on here. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 6. You can run 6 displays on here, but you need a where'd I put it? Well, you need this like little dongle thing. And then like a HDMI. I need to get a better adapter for it. 4K, it locks me to 59 frames a second. 1440p, it gives me 120. 1080p, I can get 144 frames with this, and I get no HDR support through this cable. So I need to get one that is HDMI 2.1 or at least DisplayPort 2.0 or something. Oh yeah, Dave, definitely. This is an incredible card, man. Like I was surprised. I turned up, well, it was running about 100 degrees. I was like, gosh dang. So I turned up the blower motor to max. I maxed that shit out, and you could hear it like a jet engine. It sounded like a PS4 Pro. I'm not even joking, man. It sounded like a PS4 Pro. This right here is the real star of the show, man. The 5050, bro. Like this card right here absolutely blew my freaking froggy brains all over the sidewalk. Not even joking, man. I put that card in there legit thinking that it was just going to be trash. And, you know, going by like the, oh man, I got to have 4K standards or whatever. Yeah, okay. Like it's not going to do it. I mean, it does 4K, but not the way you would want it to do 4K. But when I had freaking Battlefield 6 running at 200 FPS on that GPU, I was like, are you freaking kidding me, man? How is this card trash? The way that felt when I jumped on Battlefield 2 and I was like, or Battlefield 6, and I was hitting 200 frames a second with frame generation at 1080p low settings, I was like, holy crap, this just feels so good. Like, why wouldn't, I mean, dude, if that's the only game you're playing and you're on a budget, yeah, get that 5050, bro. This thing is actually pretty good. 8 gigs of VRAM though. Dude, honestly, oh yeah, this thing is light as a feather, stiff as a board. honestly, Dave, I would get the 5050. The reason why I would get the 5050, even though it has less VRAM, is because you have MFG 4X and you have a much better architecture of a card all over. And it's cheap, dude. $250. I don't care what anybody says. That's like a day's worth of work, man. That's like a day's worth of work, bro. Like it's affordable. It's affordable. It might not be the price that everybody thinks it should be. You know, I don't know. I think people just say that kind of stuff just to make them feel like, yeah, I don't know what it does for them. It doesn't make me feel cool to fight about the prices. Look, you guys can see all the blue lights in my PC now. I put those in there. Yeah, exactly, bro. $250 is not a whole hell of a lot of money these days. Before, like when I was like 17, 18, $250, that was a lot of money. That was a lot of money. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, you could get a lot of cool shit for $250 back then. Now, $250 barely gets you can't even go buy 2 concert tickets for $250, man. We spend $400+ on groceries. You're trying to tell me $250 is a lot of money? No, it's not. It's just not. I mean, it is, but it isn't. You know, $250 is like, I mean, when you don't got $250, it's a lot of money. But I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that. Yeah, I get that, Robert. Gosh damn this camera, dude. I wish I don't have it like set up on the thing, so I can't turn the little thing off. I wish I could turn that off. Yeah, food is insane, bro. Like you look at grocery prices, you look at the price of, the way I have to look at it is how much entertainment am I going to get out of that product? I would say if I compare the cost of other forms of entertainment compared to what I, essentially paid for the 4090, it's almost paid off. It's almost paid off with the amount of hours that I've got playing on it. It's almost paid off. Having actually, it's paid off. It's rendered out multiple videos for me. It's I've had it for a little over a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. Actually, tomorrow will be 2 weeks with a 4090. I've had a 4090 for 2 weeks now, and I've probably put more hours on that card than it takes hours for me to pay for that card. I've definitely got well over 80 hours on there. I think easy. So the amount of, I think something like this in the right hands with the right mindset, it really is about mindset. A 50-50. I mean, look at this, dude. That's like painted on, bro. GeForce RTX. I'm not even joking. Like, this card right here is just, you can see like legit right through it, bro. There's like nothing in there. There's like basically nothing in there, bro. NVIDIA's just like, all right, you can have this little corner of a freaking 40 or 5090, this little bitty tiny corner for a 5090, and you can play your games, bro. Like, I was blown away at the performance on this card, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. It was quite fascinating to see that. It was quite. Do your wife again? No, it's not that I paid it off in 2 weeks. I traded a lot of stuff for it, Robert. But it was over $2,000 worth of stuff that I traded. I ended up trading, but I got the 4090. I got that W Pro, that W6800 Pro, and a 4060 Ti, all for that. So I guess however you wanted to divide that up. The 9060 XT, bro, like $350 for 9060 XT, 16 gigabyte GPU. Okay, that there is probably the most important GPU on the market right now. Okay, it outperforms pretty much all of the NVIDIA GPUs in that class. It costs less, and it's also got next gen features. So when I look at the 9060 XT for what it is, 16 gigabyte GPU, if you went out right now and you spent the money for that card, you got it for $350, you buy a 9800X3D, okay, you just get the best CPU that you can get for gaming right now today in your build, and you put that together. Okay, you spend $1,500 and you build it yourself, and you get this incredibly well optimized freaking beast of a system. And then you get your dual mode monitor, so right there, you're about $2,500 into this. Okay, You're going to be playing on that card a lot longer. All that time gaming in 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm just joking. I think buying a GPU, Dave S, right now, I think spending more money on a GPU over a 9800X3D is a terrible idea. An absolutely terrible idea. I mean, unless 4K is your thing and that's what you're shooting for, yeah, spend all your money on your GPU. But if you're at 1440p or 1080p or at 1440p with the like, yeah, dude, I recommend building the best. Would an 11400F bottleneck a 9060 XT? I don't think so. It might at 1080p, but not a horrible bottleneck. You should be able to play games pretty well. $7,800X3D and 9060 XT and 1340p ultra wide. For ray tracing, for iRacing. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's an incredible build, Matt. I did my full review on the 9060 XT on a 3440 by 1440p monitor. I had an incredible time with that. But iRacing, it doesn't have DLSS or FSR, but that's a very easy game to run right now. But you never know if they're going to upgrade like visuals and try to get. What's up, Amir? You never know if they're going to upgrade that more. Because that 9800X3D is going to run significantly longer than a 9700X. Unless you're playing at 4K. I mean, if you're playing at 4K, you got to do whatever you got to do. 9700X was the winning deal. Yeah. I don't know. Once you go X3D, there's no going back. It is more money. It is more money right now. Absolutely. But then freaking 4 years down the line, when you really just want to buy that badass GPU, well, at least your CPU is going to still support it for 4 years, 6 years, 8 years. You know what I mean? Unless all of a sudden, like the next gen consoles come out and they start using like 32 core CPUs or something, and they're like fully optimized and you need that or whatever. I don't know. $7,600 will run everything except for a 5090. Yeah, you're right. It will. 5950X, and it's still fast. I just put my 4080 in with it and might swap it out for a Pulse, but the 5950X is still snappy. Oh yeah, I mean that's a 16 freaking core CPU, man. We're talking about 8 cores and under. Like we're not talking about like the freaking the top of the line CPUs, the 50 class, the 5950s. 4070 Super still a good GPU for 4K gaming with DLSS for sure. Depends on the game. I mean, if you turn down your settings, if you're playing these newer games, Amir, at 4K, just turn them to low settings. The new generation games look just as good as the old generation games in 4K. Yeah, just lower the settings and only turn up the ones that are necessary. 4080 Super. I love this combo. Would building a 9800X3D with a 4080 Super be drastically better playing at 3440 by 1440p? I think yes on some games, but I think no on others. I think if the game is really heavy on your GPU, if it's a really GPU heavy game, no, you're not going to see any update at all. But if it's if it's one of those games that like your GPU can easily run through it, yeah. Well, if they make them useless, Robert, I'm going to be mad because I just put everything into this. 3440 by 1440p is almost close to 4K in terms of like the pixels. Like you're running more pixels than 1440p. So yeah, it is going to be heavier. What are you talking about? I was running Mafia at 3440 by 1440p. I was able to run. Let me make sure I've got that footage. Yeah, dude, I've got 2 videos right here running it at 3440 by 1440. Yeah, no problem.